In this tutorial, we're going to look at Chicago Style Citation. It's a little different from MLA and APA. Same concept, different rules. Let's take a look at how to use Chicago Style Citation using the NB style. Here we have a quick overview of some of the things we'll be looking at in this tutorial. What is Chicago Style? Language and active voice, in-text citation, footnotes, general format, title or cover page, block quotations, bibliography, and we'll touch on annotated bibliography. What is citation? By now, you've probably already written a paper using MLA citation, so you know what it is. Citation credits individuals for their work that you used in your research. Sources are important to support your research, but it's equally important to credit them. And remember, if you don't do so, you're committing plagiarism. So what is Chicago Style Citation? Chicago Style comes from the Chicago Manual of Style and consists of two styles. The Notes Bibliography System, or style, simply called NB, and used in literature, history, and the arts. The author date system is nearly identical, but it differs in form and is preferred in the social sciences. In this tutorial, we'll focus on the NB style using footnotes. The N stands for notes, and the B stands for bibliography. Chicago Style Pizza, Chicago Cubs, and Chicago Style Citation. As with any academic writing, you need to remember it's not creative writing, so get to the point and use active voice. Also, avoid using contractions in academic writing. You already know what contractions are, and we use them daily, but not in academic writing. Avoid colloquial vocabulary in an academic paper. Colloquial means informal or familiar conversation, like the way you might converse with a friend. Stick with active voice. If you've watched any other ERC tutorials, you've already seen this. It's a handy trick to avoid passive voice. You've also heard this before: clear, concise, and plain. Always follow these ideas in academic writing. Be specific and get to the point. Condense your information when possible, and use simple descriptive adjectives. I always tell students to think of in-text citation as a link or arrow to the bibliography. You're letting the reader know where you got your information within the text and providing a roadmap to how to find the information in your bibliography. The in-text citation should easily point to the source in the bibliography. Let's get to the Chicago style. The N is for notes. Each time you use a source in your text, it should be cited by a footnote or endnote. As I mentioned, we're going to focus on footnotes. Here is what a footnote and its corresponding bibliography entry will look like in your paper. And I want to show you something on Al Purdue. When you go to Al Purdue, you can see right here, it shows you how to cite your source. In this particular source, it's from an online periodical. The N for notes, so that means this is our footnote. And the B is how that same source will look in the bibliography. Now, at first glance, they look identical, right? They're not. You have to look very carefully. Notice in the footnote, there is a comma after one of the author's names, Larson. Now, in the corresponding bibliography entry, there is a period after Larson. So you have to be aware of small changes like that. Pay attention when you're trying to mirror the citation. There is a link on this slide that will take you to Al Purdue for more information about Chicago Style Citation, and that's where we just were. You're probably wondering how in the world you're going to get a footnote in your paper. It's really simple. Just click the References tab in Microsoft Word and select Insert Footnote. That will take you to the bottom of the page and it puts the number in for you. All you have to do is type the source's information. And here we have the Al link again, but I've written it out. If for some reason it doesn't work when you click on it, you can just use copy and paste, or you can write it down if you need to. IBID is an abbreviation meaning in the same place. Let's say you used a source in one paragraph and again in the next paragraph without any other sources between them. Instead of typing all of the citation again, you can type IBID period. If the second paragraph is the same source but from a different page number, put a comma after IBID period and the page number. Once you use a different source and then the first one again, you'll have to type that information. The format is very similar to that of APA or MLA. Your margin should be set at 1 inch and you should use Times New Roman size 12 font. Double space the text unless you use a block quotation. A block quotation of 5 or more lines should be single spaced. An extra line of space should precede and follow a block quotation. Notes in bibliography should be single spaced with an extra line space between entries. If you use an annotation, leave an extra line space between the source entry and the annotation. Page numbers begin in the header of the first page of text, so your cover page will not have a number on it. Typically, you'll include a cover page in Chicago Style, but ask your instructor. Your title will be centered about a third of the way down the page. Your name and course information follow several lines later. Remember, no page number on the cover page. If you're not sure how to use pagination without including a number on the cover page, just remember to check the box Different First Page and use the page number formatting to start numbering at 0. In Chicago Style, you won't include your last name with the page number. Label the first page for your sources Bibliography. In MLA, it is Works Cited, and in APA, it is References. If it is annotated, you'll include that in your title. It will say Annotated Bibliography. Leave 2 blank lines between bibliography and your first entry. You will have to change the line spacing for your bibliography. The entry should be single spaced with an extra line of space between each. If you include an annotation, leave an extra line of space after the preceding citation. List your entries in letter-by-letter alphabetical order according to the first word in each entry. Don't panic if you need to include annotations. There's a link at the bottom of this slide to take you to the Annotated Bibliographies tutorial on the ERC YouTube channel. Remember, no one expects you to memorize citation styles. We do expect you to know where to look. And if you use a source from a database, Be sure to check any included citation to make sure it is updated. Here are 2 links that you can look at to verify the correct order for Chicago Style Citation. One is the OWL and the other is the Chicago Manual of Style. If you have any questions about Chicago Style Citation, visit the ERC at any UA Cossatot campus.